Yeah, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? It's your man, Mr. Talk 718. Guess what?
Being top dog is what it's all about.
The boss of all
Oh
bosses,
my God, there's so many levels to this.
It ain't nothing too about
Mr. Talk 718.
The boss of the boss of the boss that I'd be working for.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I know, we've been talking about relationships and stuff like that on Talk Life Media, but right now I really, really have uh, a heartache because we have a lot of brothers in the world that are dying by chokeholds by these scared white men. Um, this man right here, he wasn't doing nothing. He was expressing his First Amendment rights. He was screaming out because his belly was hungry. He was thirsty. He was upset because he had nowhere to live. But yet, being that he was doing these things, he was deemed a threat, not by the police, but by a civilian, an evil person. Let's just take a look at this brother and let me show you the beauty of this man and how he lightened people's lives up when he was impersonating Michael Jackson. I cannot play the music because the music will get me copywritten strikes. So let me just play this. Look at him doing his thing. He, that was in better times. This man, he lost his mother to being choked by her boyfriend while he was still a kid. This man went through foster care and he went down dark places, you know, after seeing someone that you love take care of you get murdered by someone that you thought was there to protect and provide. He was murdered, hurt. Why? Because people are too scary. And when they see black people, they feel like black people are a threat. But that's not the case. This man was far from a threat. He was just a man exercising his First Amendment rights. We as a country always talk about the amendments in the Constitution, but then when a black man is using his constitutional rights to speak, he's still deemed a threat. I want to read to y'all what I wrote. I was really in my feelings last night. What I wrote was, I wrote, the audacity of people not seeing the obvious as people judge due to the skin tone is unbearable and sick, while people of color get killed or murdered by the others. And it's justified by people with no idea of what it is like to have to be fearful of breathing in this skin. We are looked down upon by all walks of life while still in a rat race within our own walls, given that within these walls is war for scraps and shelter and low standards of education. We are all trying to make it out. And this is the mantra that we use, only the strong survive. And at this time, it's true. And other times it is when we do, we are still hunted and subdued to what they think is just good enough. Within the last few years, we have had multiple black men and women die in unjust ways. It comes a time when it's just enough watching, just enough watching a man choked out after selling a Lucy. And then a few years later, a brother with a knee in his neck. And now a chokehold on a subway train in New York City has really gotten to me. Before an act of violence, did he fail to realize that the brother was mentally ill and was crying for help? Was it that hard to act in kindness and offer this brother a meal and a drink and then say, hey, do you want to talk about it? But the animal that has always been in this man's blood, lashed out and attacked and strangled the brother who, clear as day, had mental issues to a never ending sleep. Yet is looked at as heroism and admired by half a nation. I, as a man of hue, of melanin, of color, cannot stand with the likes of these savage barbarians, and I am tired of the lies and the mischaracterizations of people who don't deserve this. This man has been characterized as a criminal, as an evil person, as a bad man. But if he was so bad, why was he not in prison? This is the question I have to ask anybody who has a problem with what I'm saying. Where is this man's prison record? Let me show y'all something. Let me show you something. I want y'all to see this. Now, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Look and watch. Just watch. I want y'all to see when he take his last breath. 'Cause right now, he's not breathing. Did y'all see it? I'll play it again. I'll play it again. I want y'all to see when this brother take his last breath. That's the part that really got to me. My soul was burning last night and is burning today. But watch, just watch the last second. You'll see.
He wasn't planning on getting the same chokehold that you got. So that's nice, yo. You hear me? You're a hell of a trainer. My wife is really it's never storm. Military. Rain.
Watch. I'm gonna pull him over. Watch his stomach because he's not breathing. Look. Look. Panicking now. Right there. Watch. Last breath. That man died right there. That's the point where he passed away. And I don't care what nobody tell me. I've seen people die, take their last breath, and that's how it always is. It's like when you have water and all the bubbles are gone, right? And then you got that one last bubble that rise up, and there's no more bubbles. This man was murdered. Murdered. And that man with the red hair laying on the ground, in his entire life, I feel like he always wanted to say, or always had in his mind to kill someone, especially someone like me. It's not fair. I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all something. Watch this. I'm gonna read this article. In a case resembling Jordan Neely's killing, an arrest came quickly. As prosecutors in New York weighed charges in the killing of Jordan Neely, a similar case in San Diego, California last year resulted in an involuntary manslaughter charge. Last year, on a spring evening, a 28-year-old man confronted a woman on a San Diego bus who was filming him with her cell phone, according to court documents. Edward Hilbert, 56, another rider, decided to intervene. He grabbed the man, Anthony J. McGriff, 28, put him in a chokehold and held him for 8 minutes. So 8 minutes is half of 15. Mr. McGriff family said until Mr. McGriff lost consciousness and died. So he held him for 8 minutes until McGriff lost consciousness and died. The circumstances bear strong similarity to the case of Jordan Neely, who was choked to death on a New York subway last Monday, nearly 1 year after McGaff was killed. Like the New York case, the victim in San Diego was black and the man who killed him was white. Savage. A video captured by a subway rider shows Daniel Penny holding Mr. Neely in a chokehold for at least 3 minutes, including nearly a minute after he was limp. Yet the responses and aftermath of the two cases have been markedly different so far. In San Diego, law enforcement officials arrested Mr. Hilbert within hours, but in New York City, more than a week after Mr. Neely killing and after the medical examiner ruled the death a homicide, a ruling that means that Mr. Neely was killed, but is not a finding of legal culpability. Mr. Penny, 24, has not been arrested. Mr. Neely's death comes during especially heated debates in New York over how to handle crime, homelessness, and mental illness, particularly in the subways. And New Yorkers have been divided in their response to the incident. We could keep going and going and going and going and going, but unfortunately, it's going to be the same political bullshit, right? I want to show y'all something, and this is why I feel that it was bullshit, right? I want y'all to see that. The First Amendment. The First Amendment. What does that say? Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. Right there, that part right there. Or of the press. We lost that a long time ago. Or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So the brother was killed doing exactly what he had every right to do. He had every right to speak. He wasn't violent. His tone may have been, but that's through anger. When people protest, they always protest in anger because something is wrong. So this man was protesting that he was hungry. His belly was hurting. Many full, but they're starving. They have a lot and still wanting. Jah, without your we're empty, fill us up with your mercy. Well, they didn't have any mercy, but they were full. That man probably had lunch, dinner, snacks, had 8 drinks, coffee, Starbucks, but yet instead of him approaching the guy from behind, he should have approached Mr. Jordan from the front with an offering to help. But yet again, a savage animal kills another black man just because he was black. There was no reason to kill this man, and I'm pissed off about it. An act of kindness would have sufficed. An act of kindness would have sufficed. They didn't have to kill. He didn't have to get killed. He didn't have to get killed. You didn't have to kill that man. But they did. And they trying to justify. Because the people who believe that politics rule, they use everything for politics. They're the ones who saying that it was okay and it's good and they happy and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not right. In New York, Justin Neely was considered one of 50 people, the top 50 people who needed somewhere to live. Jordan Neely was a man who faced significant adversity throughout his life, but managed to make an impact on those around him. Through his unique talent as a Michael Jackson impersonator, he was born in Bayonne, New Jersey. I love Bayonne. Bayonne Bay is beautiful. So he grew up in a nice, not to say the neighborhood was nice then, but it's nice now. And I wish they would have found him somewhere to live. But he grew up in Bayonne. His life was tragically marked by the murder of his mother when he was 14 years old. So just think about the traumatic events that led to his struggle with depression, schizophrenia, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Despite his personal struggles, Jordan became a recognized figure in New York City Times Square and the subway system, where he regularly performed as a Michael Jackson impersonator. His talents as a dancer was widely acknowledged and brought moments of joy and entertainment to the city's residents and tourists alike. However, life was far from easy for Jordan. He frequently found himself without a stable home, often relying on organizations such as the Bowery Residents Committee for assistance. His name was included on New York City's top 50 list. He wasn't a murderer. He wasn't a rapist. He wasn't a pedophile. He wasn't a thief. He wasn't none of that. He was on a roster of the homeless individuals most in need of assistance and treatment. So the government knew that he was mentally unhealthy and also needed a place to live. Jordan's life is a poignant reminder of the urgent need for more comprehensive mental health issues, effective support for those dealing with trauma, and robust solutions for homelessness. His talents and resilience in the face of hardship left an indelible mark on those who knew him or witnessed his performance. Despite his struggles with mental health and substance abuse, Jordan Neely's legacy remains a testament of human resilience and the power of art. Now, I could tell you, I can't say I met him, but I've definitely gave him a tip when I lived in New York. He's been doing it for a lot of years. A lot of years. Did he deserve this? No. Was it hard for this man to go up to him and say, "Let me help you"? Yes. But is that hard to do? Hell no. Yet we have another black man killed in the hands of somebody who thought they was a fucking RoboCop. This shit got me tight. Unfair, unjust, too long. If it was me who did it to someone of the white persuasion, my ass would have been locked up that same night. And it's just so unfortunate that we don't get the same handshake. We don't get the same deal. But I want everybody that's out here that's watching this, looking at this, listening, doing whatever you're doing, please put a prayer up in the sky, talk to your ancestors. Just be positive and hope that justice will be served this time. This man did not deserve to die. He did not deserve to be harmed. He was exercising his rights. He had rights like everybody else. His right was the First Amendment. He had the right to free speech. Man, this shit got me so bad. My heart is broken. I get tired of this. I get so tired. But one day, it won't be like this. Anyway, it's your man, Mr. Talk 718.
You see the boss grinning?
This is the boss of the business.
I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far.
Mr. Talk 718.
Well, I'm the boss. Head honcho. El numero uno.